And hello, everyone, and welcome to the WNEP Sports Spotlight. I'm Steve Lloyd, and joining us here today, Courtney Harrison, Eve Hernandez. This is going to be a monthly show we're going to put together here in the WNEP studios, and it's going to be basically, we're going to talk about local sports. We're going to talk some professional sports, a little flavor from field hockey to soccer, basketball, and all in between. Mm-hmm. We really appreciate everyone joining us here today as we kick off our newest show here. It's going to be on WNEP Plus. It's also going to be out on YouTube. You two must be excited to join us here today. Your initial thoughts on getting a chance to do this?
Absolutely. I think it's always great when we can sit down and kind of just unload on everything, because we only get 3 minutes, 4 minutes in a show. So it's kind of nice to be able to bounce everything that's going off each other and really kind of go a little bit more in depth.
Yeah, totally agree. Especially like, we get so much little time, like you said, but also podcasting's kind of like a big thing now. I mean, we got a couple of station podcasts here, but just the three of us being able to kind of powwow, talk about sports, get a little more in depth into certain things, certain stories, or just certain topics that we don't really have time for. Be really excited for that. Yeah.
Well, let's start with obviously the most recent thing, the Eagles winning their second Super Bowl in franchise history.
Yeah, happy Courtney.
Yeah, taking down the Kansas City Chiefs. Everybody probably remembers the first Super Bowl that they won. Mm-hmm. They had Nick Foles at quarterback, head coach Doug Peterson. Now, kind of roles reverse. You got Jalen Hurts, MVP, and then Nick Sirianni, who did a great job all season long. He gets his first Super Bowl. I know you were down there for the parade. How much fun was that, Courtney?
It was so fun. Going off of what happened in the Super Bowl, the Eagles winning, you felt that energy kind of continue through. It was electric. It was wild to be there with nearly 2 million people. 2 million people in one place. It was crazy. It was chaos, but it was so much fun, and it was really great to see them win a second Super Bowl.
Yeah, I'm sure you're happy. I wish I got to go to the parade. I was really upset that I wasn't able to go. I was actually off on vacation last week, but I'm sure you had the best time there. What was that kind of like? What was the parade like for you? Just experiencing that all again, too.
The last time they were there was 2018. Mm-hmm. I was actually living in North Carolina at the time, and I drove through the night and flew and got to be there. Nice. But I wasn't as close. This time it was great, like feeling the energy, the chants, the cheers, seeing the players go by. Where we were across from Union League on Broad Street. So like seeing the players kind of jump off the bus and showing the trophy around and just doing wild stuff. It was awesome, and it was really a game to remember. I mean, Vic Fangio on the defense really pushed that game.
They showed out
to the where it was, and it's great representation for our Dunmore community for sure.
Definitely. Yeah, we had so many local ties. You look at Brett Veach, the Chiefs GM, just basically the run that they've been on, a credit to him. And then you talked about Coach Fangio from Dunmore. You have Saquon Barkley from Whitehall, Jahan Dotson from Nazareth High School. So a lot of local interest. Those players really stepped up, had a great season, and got them their second Super Bowl.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that Saquon reverse huddle will go down in not only Eagles history. It's now a picture on my wall in the basement.
Forever painted, frame it.
Yeah, but it was crazy to see how quiet he was in this Super Bowl.
I was surprised.
57 rushing yards.
That was it. Yeah.
But they shared the wealth. I mean, Jalen Hurts just chucking the ball and doing what he could with his legs. I think that was a really big testament to this win.
Yeah, Kansas City obviously is trying to just stop Saquon, nothing else. But the Eagles have so many weapons, though. They got 60-yard touchdowns to A.J. Brown, Devontae Smith. Like, you can't stop Dallas Goedert. And plus, what the defense was able to do, the pick six by Cooper DeJean. At that moment, I was like, okay, the Eagles totally got this. So the defense definitely helped. And then Jalen Carter forcing the forced fumble and just sacks on sacks on sacks to keep Mahomes on the ground and not passing the ball, not in any danger for the Eagles defense. But it was awesome to see that for sure.
Yeah.
And now I know, Eve, you went back in some history and you got a hold of Geno Lewis.
I did.
He played at Myers in Wyoming Valley West, and then he was a teammate of Saquon's at Penn State. What was it like talking to him about that history and obviously rooting for a friend to win a Super Bowl?
Oh, yeah, definitely. Geno Lewis, big Eagles fan. He did tell me that. But, no, it was great to talk to him. Like you said, he went to Myers. He went to Wyoming Valley West. Played football at Penn State with Saquon as well. He played football at Penn State. Saquon's freshman year there was Geno Lewis's senior year there. And now he plays in the Canadian Football League. He plays with the Edmonton Elks. But it was great to catch up with him. Like you said, a local kid rooting for another local kid. He said that their connection even started back in high school when Saquon was at Whitehall. He said they would scrimmage against each other. And he said one of the things he remembered about Saquon was when he got to Penn State, he was going up to the quarterbacks. Gino played quarterback when he was in high school. He's a wide receiver now, but he played quarterback in high school, and Saquon went up to him and wanted to compliment him. He was like, "Hey, you're the guy that goes to this school. Like, I remember, like, you're really nice with the ball. You're really good at throwing." And he wanted to compliment him on that. And so he said just from a young age, he could see, how, I guess, mentally mature Saquon was and just ready for the big moment. Like, he was also telling me how big of a deal it was. He got to start at Penn State as a freshman. Obviously, Saquon did amazing things his freshman season, but the mentality that he has, that was really good for Gino to kind of share with me. And he told me that they kept up throughout the years and everything like that, and was very, very excited for him, of course, playing in the Super Bowl. As an Eagles fan, I'm definitely too.
Yeah, and Gino's made a great career up in the Canadian Football League, and certainly, obviously, a proud member of Luzerne County and transferring that forward and representing the area. And obviously he had great things to say about Saquon. So as we move forward now, Martz Hall, obviously the mecca of high school basketball. They just wrapped up the Schuylkill League playoffs. So on the girls' side, Schuylkill Haven girls winning it. And then the hometown team, Pottsville boys, bringing home a title. You were down there for a couple of games. I was down there for a long time. There's no other better place for high school basketball than Martz Hall.
Absolutely. Even I was talking with Mayor Derek Slaughter, who was a part of the Williamsport 1999 team that we talked about earlier. He said that's one of the best places. If you can get to play at Martz Hall, at the Mecca, that's the place you want to be. It's always electric. It's one of those special places that if you've never seen a game there, you got to get there.
I got to get there.
You have to get there. You'll get there, I'm sure, at some point here. But, it's so special, and seeing the teams come there and knowing the tradition of playing there, and they want to win. Like, winning those Schuylkill League championships is really what it's all about. Schuylkill Haven, the girls, getting their very first Schuylkill League championship, which was awesome. There were a lot of great players in the semis when I was down there. Audrey Hutchinson, huge game in the semis for this team. They've got a lot of young players, so I think they're going to make an impact not only this season into the postseason, but I think in the next couple of years to come. But Pottsville, I would not have counted them out even back earlier on in the season. I saw them play against Shamokin. And Shamokin, we had them ranked up there in the top 3 earlier in the season, and they pulled off a win. Seeing Pottsville beat Mahanoy area in the Schuylkill League semis, I think might have been a surprise to some. Maybe not to others. I knew it was going to be a great game. It was nice to see them be able to win on their home court, win another Schuylkill League championship on their home court, and we'll see what they can do in the playoffs.
Yeah, Courtney, for the Pottsville boys, the head coach Jake Wartell actually took over for Dave Mullaney, the former Pottsville coach, and Dave is now down at Minersville, and he's kind of really turning that program into something. Talk about Dante Carr. There was a highlight you didn't put on the air. He went up. I guess he missed the dunk, and you take it from there. What happened?
So what happened? There was a lot of confusion because I asked Dante afterwards what happened. He went up for the dunk. The ball bounced off the back of the rim. He hung on the rim, grabbed the other hand, dunked it. It was wild.
What?
The whole place went crazy, but it's a technical. You can't hang on the rim.
Oh my gosh.
So I was
not a highlight.
Not a highlight. But that's why I snuck it in there. But
you had to show it.
He's great on the football field as their quarterback. He's just as great on the court for
and there are talks that James Franklin has been kind of a little recruiting him on the football side.
Wow.
I think he'd love to have him out there in the blue and white, and who knows where they could put him. I mean, he's a great athlete.
He is a great athlete.
They're always looking for good athletes out there.
I know, the way that he runs, too. Like, you can see the way that, as quarterback, he's super tall, so that's obviously great for anything that he wants to do. But being super tall, he's super athletic. He can get out on the run. He can get outside of the pocket, and he's able to make super, deep, accurate throws downfield. He's got an arm on him.
And I think that helps translate onto the basketball court, too. He can see what's happening down court. Instead of way downfield, he's got a shorter place to play and put that ball in play for some of the other players. So, I think that Minersville team, they look pretty good. Shazir Bethea, too. Amazing. The two of them together, I think it's a great combo, and I think they got a little time left to play together. So.
And not only was it a great week for Schuylkill County, it was a tough week, too. The loss of Blue Mountain head softball coach Mike Rollman, leaves behind his wife and a few kids. 2 state titles the last 2 years, both in 4A. Gone way too soon, way too young. Our thoughts and prayers obviously go out to the entire, Blue Mountain School District and Mike's family, and just everybody down there, kind of has a story about Mike, and it's a tremendous loss because he was really looking forward to coaching this team again coming up here in the spring.
I know, it's hard to believe they were just getting geared up for another season. During the semifinals, the Schuylkill League semifinals, they had a moment of silence before the national anthem, and the emotions were palpable. You could feel that. Blue Mountain wasn't in the tournament there at the end, but you felt the emotions, and it doesn't just hit the Blue Mountain community; it hits that whole area.
Okay. Yeah, Mike was a tremendous teacher, great at the gamesmanship of the game, and allowing his team to play, and not only to win one state title, to go back to back, and everybody kind of coming after his team. It really showed his moxie and his ability to create a winning culture down there. And I really think he was probably one of the better coaches in the state, not only in the Schuylkill League, but across the state when it comes to just winning softball and how hard that is. And
I think those girls are really going to have a little bit more oomph to try and make it 3 in a row this year. I wouldn't count them out. They finished well in our top teams last year at the end of the season. I feel like they'll be back there and playing with a little extra help maybe.
Well, we're just getting started. This is part 1 of the WNEP Sports Spotlight. Please stay with us. We'll have much more coming up. And welcome back to the WNEP Sports Spotlight. Steve Lloyd along with Courtney Harrison and Eve Hernandez. We've gotten the Super Bowl out of the way. We got Schuylkill League playoffs out of the way at Martz Hall. Now we're going to turn to some of the district basketball coming up. District 11, District 4, District 2, and a little of District 6 we cover with Central Mountain out there. But let's first talk about Pocono Mountain West, the boys. A tough overtime loss to Northampton in the EPC championship game down at the PPL Center in Allentown, a great venue. Coach Williams has that team clicking. Yeah. A chance now to win a district title in 6A. It's very tough down there, and he's got the team to do it, I think. Yeah,
that 6A group. There's a lot of great talent, a lot of big schools. I think they do have the talent.
They do.
I just you wonder how good the other teams are. Like playing some of those schools down from the Lehigh Valley, down that region. They always seem to get the best of them in the playoffs.
Yeah, really tough. They were down, Pocono Mountain West down 5A for the last 2 seasons. Now they're back up in 6A again with the reclassification. So this is their first time back in a couple of years. But like you said, they got the guys to compete. I mean, Adrian Brito, KJ Coles, both. KJ Coles is a junior. Adrian Brito is a senior. Sorry, KJ Coles is a junior. But both of them named EPC First Team All Stars. That's just a couple of weeks ago. They're, a really lethal combination. I was very, I wish I was able to see that game, but the overtime loss by 1 point to Northampton, that's devastating, I'm sure, for Pocono Mountain West. But they're definitely some team to keep up with, for sure.
Absolutely.
As we move around to some of the more other boys teams, you look at Holy Cross, who got to a state title last year. They just won a Lackawanna League Division II title by beating a very good Riverside team. So Coach Callejas, he's got the Crusaders where he wants them to be. Now it's just got to get through districts and get into states and try to make another run.
And that District 2, the group, both boys and girls, a lot of great teams, a lot of great talent. I think we'll at least have one of those District 2 teams really go far. I mean, Holy Cross, that was a 3-point win over Riverside on Sunday night. So it all depends on who has the talent, who makes it work, who's on at that
Who's
point.
on at that time, exactly.
Yeah, and you look down at District 4, Coach Chris Zimmerman, who played for the Shamokin Indians. He has them rolling. They're looking to win a District 4 championship.
Yeah, they are. They're a fun team to watch. Joe Heil, he's averaging 17 points per game right now. They've got Case Litchie, Jensen Shuey. I think they're all the same thing, clicking at the same time. I think if it's going to be hard to shut them down, especially if they get in a rhythm. They've played some great teams, and I think they're going to have a great postseason.
Yeah.
And as we switch to the girls, Hazelton, number 1, Coach Gavio. 2 is Prep. Hazelton right now ranked number 1 in 6A in the state. Prep number 1 in 4A in the state. Central Columbia winning the Heartland. So we have obviously a tremendous group of girls teams that could possibly make it to the Giant Center and win some state championships.
Yeah, absolutely. I think Coach Gavio, he knows what he's doing. He's not new to this. He knows exactly what he's doing. And when I talked to him earlier in the season, they're still undefeated, by the way. I think they're our only team that's still undefeated.
Correct.
24-0, I think, at this point in the season. But he's got great talent. Watching Caitlin Bindis play is so much fun. Sophia Schultz, Sophia Benyo. They have a great team. And when I asked him earlier, he said, I think this might be one of my best teams. you don't want to jinx it by saying that. He says one of his best. So, we'll see how far they can make it. They also have a tough uphill battle being in 6A. So we'll see how they fare. But same thing with Scranton Prep girls.
Eve, who are some of the girls' teams that you've had a chance to see that you really think have a chance to win a district championship?
Yeah, of course, you mentioned Scranton Prep girls. Of course, Scranton Prep girls have a chance. If getting the chance to talk to Coach Baviglia for a little bit, see his kind of strategy and the way that he's done things over the years, and plus just seeing how the girls work together. Even this season, a younger team for Scranton Prep. They have a lot of young talent on that team. Still seeing how they work together, though, how they want to play his style, the way that they're so aggressive on defense, the way that they like to take their shots for three, for sure. But seeing, even though they are so young, just seeing how they work well together. But Scranton Prep girls, like you said, Hazleton area, like you said, they're also a great team to watch.
Obviously, winter sports is kind of winding down as we flip into wrestling. District, is coming up for District 2, 11, and 4. I think first we have to start with Brant Hare out there in Montgomery at 139 pounds. His older brother, they both won state titles. Connor is at Rutgers now. He's in the starting lineup for the Scarlet Knights. What do you think his chances are moving forward? Obviously, a lot of talented wrestlers out there in District 4.
Yeah, absolutely. You did a whole thing with the Hares.
Yeah, you're talking about Brant or Connor?
Yeah, Brant.
No, Brant, he's undefeated this season. He's beaten some of the top guys ranked in the state in their class. I know he beat earlier, the 5th ranked guy in the state earlier this season, but Brant Hare has been awesome to watch every time that I see him wrestle. I've only seen him wrestle a couple of times, but I'm just extremely impressed at how technical he is with his moves, how calculated he is with things to try to get tech falls as quickly as possible. Extremely talented guy, extremely awesome to watch him play. Watch him wrestle.
Between he on Montgomery, the team team is great. Montoursville, same.
They got some great wrestlers.
Those two teams really. I got to see them face off against each other, and unfortunately, some of the best wrestlers didn't get to wrestle at all because there was, it's who do you want to put up against these guys? You're going to take a loss or just, might as well save your guy for the next time
Certain
around.
decisions, yeah.
But, Brant Hare, we had talked about Gage Wenzel from Montoursville, Telly Babotis, Brandon Eisenhower, Owen Kleinman. They're one of the best teams in the area. And, so we'll see how they fare. And Brian Hurd, Abington Heights. There's a chance that he and Gage Wenzel might see each other at some point in the postseason, both wrestling at 172, so...
Yeah, some other guys. Reagan Milheim from Warrior Run at 160. He's ranked up there. Austin Johnson, he was on our Super 16 Dream Team, the Muncie running back, breaking all sorts of records out there.
Austin Johnson is crazy at football.
Obviously, setting the world on fire. And then you look at Dalton Perry from Central Mountain. You have Michael Turry from West Scranton. You mentioned Brian Hurd, and then you have Jack Peters with Selinsgrove. So we're wishing, the best for all of our local wrestlers, and we'll be covering that. Well, let's switch back to the Dream Team down at the Wilkes-Barre Scranton International Airport, our presenting sponsor. We thank them once again. Without them,
absolutely,
we wouldn't have a show. Your highlight moment, I'll start with you, down at the Dream Team, and then we'll go to Eve. Who impressed you the most?
Oh, wow. Gosh, I had a really nice chat. You got to see what aired. I had a really nice chat with Mason Avery from Honesdale about being the first player from Honesdale to win this. We chatted for about 10 minutes, and it was like, oh gosh, now we have to talk about what we're talking about in football. But I think that was one of the nice things, seeing some of these schools check that box of being on our Dream Team. I think that was probably one of my favorite moments of the event.
That's awesome. I really enjoyed my conversation with our Scholar Athlete of the Year, Samuel Spolsky from Nativity BVM. Our conversation was awesome. It was really great to see kind of what drives him to be. He's congratulations to him going to West Point. That's awesome for him. But just with the military kind of background that he has and how he applies it, just to see the mentality of such a young man, just about to graduate high school, did awesome things this season on the football field. But it was really cool just to see how seriously he takes, how younger kids these days are taking athletics so seriously, but also trying to find the time to tie in the academic with it and how that kind of carries them forward.
Yeah, that's super important.
Yeah.
And for the first time, I believe we had a kicker on the team, Gavin Menser from North Schuylkill. That kid has a leg and a half. I believe he is going to IUP. Pretty sure that is correct.
Yeah.
But he's gonna do some damage out there. Out there kicking for IUP. He's got a great leg and he has a great attitude and really loves the game.
And we have to mention our number one team, Troy. Amazing season.
Great season.
And such a humble group of kids. Yeah. I think that's what makes it so special. And I think that can be said for all of the players that run our Dream Team. They're big, they're tough, they're making big plays on the field, and then they want to talk like this. That's not a bad thing. Like they don't want to brag about themselves.
Right.
They want to talk about their team. And I think we picked a great group this season.
Yeah, and the one thing with Coach Smith when he came down down. He was looking for a place to eat. So we sent him over to Old Forge. I don't know what pizza place he went to, but we could probably rattle off all the pizza places here. But he was looking for a place to take the kids to get a bite before they headed back up. It's about a 2-hour drive.
Yeah, it's a long trip.
To come
long
down.
trip.
Might as well make a trip out of it.
Definitely.
And a day out of it.
Yeah, he might have went to Ravello's. I'm not exactly sure. Spring sports coming up. High school baseball, softball. We have the Bill Howerton Media Day. That's going to be March 2nd.
Yep.
PNC Field. Also have the Rail Riders coming in here. That's a big event. A guy that really cared about baseball and died at a young age and stuff. So there to remember Bill, and there's usually a guest speaker that comes in and talks to the kids. So it's high school softball and baseball. Wyoming Valley Conference, Lackawanna League, District 2. I believe Eve, you're going to run down there and cover. Courtney, you've covered that in the past. I've been down there. Brian Jardine, the North Pocono head baseball coach, puts that together. So that's a great event for the kids. Not only do they get to talk to the media, they get to hang out in the Rail Riders clubhouse.
Yeah,
PNC
exactly.
Field. They get to feel like big time. So that's a pretty cool event.
And I think they'll get a peek at the new Rail Riders setup, for the players before we will.
Yeah, exactly.
So that'll be pretty exciting for them. It's always nice to see some of these kids able to get a chance to talk with each other. Like these media days. Yes, they're for us and for everybody that covers these sports, but I think it's nice for the kids to be able to get a chance to feel each other out and kind of give a brag on how their seasons are going to go.
Definitely. March 2nd is 2 weeks from now. 2 weeks from now. I saw that on the calendar today. I was super surprised because I was trying to prepare to go to that. Baseball season is here. Softball season is here. I'm super excited. Yeah. Cannot wait to see all of the teams in this area.
Mm-hmm.
It's coming in a flash. It'll be here.
This is my first softball season here in Northeast Pennsylvania, so I'm super excited for that.
Looking forward to that.
Absolutely.
All right. Stay with us. More of the WNEP Sports Spotlight when we come right back. And welcome back to the WNEP Sports Spotlight. Steve Lloyd along with Courtney Harrison and Eve Hernandez. We're going to switch now to some racing. And the Daytona 500 just completed. William Byron doesn't get caught up in that wreck. Somehow wins. Now back-to-back. Joins a pretty elite company of drivers. Richard Petty, Cale Yarborough, Denny Hamlin.
Mm-hmm. Denny was the last one to do it.
Yep.
And now William Byron. That's amazing.
And what a long day. I was like, great, we'll have something to show in the early shows. And then it was like rain delay, 3 hours, rain delay, 2 hours. I know it stinks for the people that are watching it, but it's got to be such difficult on the drivers who have themselves ready and amped up and ready to get in a routine. But once they got going, it was great out of the gate. Great racing. Big wrecks. Big wrecks. Specifically with that 5 to go, Ryan Preece, another scary wreck. He did that 2 years ago. I think it was the 2023 Daytona, one of the Daytona races, upside down. Yes, people want to see the wrecks, but it's scary.
Very scary.
Yeah, it's scary.
Thankfully, that there is so much technology and equipment in these cars now to make it safe for him to put the thing down, put the net down, and walk right out and not have a scratch on him.
Right.
It's impressive. But these big tracks, Daytona, 2.5 miles, just like Pocono, 2.5 miles. It sets up for these great, exciting things and great passes, great racing. But like we said, kudos to William Byron on that win.
Just not being caught in the crossfire. It was crazy to see the video when you watch it. It's everyone's in front of him, and then he just emerges. He's like, he didn't even move. Like, did he even move? He just stands still. Perfect. Big dub. Those congrats to Byron. I can't believe. I mean, he's super young, too. Just to have 2 Daytona 500s, that's...
And he started doing e-racing, like esports. Like, that's how he learned how to drive.
Wow, that's cool.
They had talked about that after the fact, after the race. He never physically got into a car until after he had done all the e-racing. So that's pretty impressive. You don't have to be in a vehicle. You don't have to, run the quarter midgets and all those things like in previous years and previous decades of those guys coming up. So the next generation, I guess.
Different paths for everyone.
Yeah.
And always we have our local race. It's been moved up a month.
Right.
So now it's back in June. Drivers coming back to Pocono. That's always a big weekend.
Absolutely. And there's a lot of new drivers, a lot of new crew chiefs. I was kind of running down through and I'm like, oh, this is new. Oh, that's new. Oh, this new. Plus some new drivers coming through. So I think we'll kind of see how that's. This kind of gives us the Daytona kind of gives us a preview of how Pocono's going to go. But we'll never know. I'm always looking forward to that weekend. So.
Yeah, I was out there a couple years ago. So it was Craftsman Truck. Xfinity, ARCA, and Cup hadn't gotten there yet. And I was going to do a story on an Xfinity driver, and their PR person told me where the hauler was. I walked outside. I never saw so many haulers and so many cars. It literally probably took me almost an hour to find where they were located. Wow. Now, once I found them, I was okay, but they had all the circuits at Pocono. That was a pretty cool deal.
Logistically, that's got to be a nightmare to try to figure out.
Yeah. But the ARCA drivers were using the Cup Series garage. So they were gone Friday, and then Cup came in Saturday morning. So that kind of worked, but still a lot of cars and a lot of haulers there at the same time.
I know. And I think, at one point Pocono did have 2 races, but I think having all of those series all at one time, all in one weekend, really makes it exciting for those people that make it their vacation. You get to see 4 different series. You get to see the next generation of drivers come up through ARCA and then the trucks. I mean, I remember the first time the trucks, I think you and I covered that first race at Pocono, and I went back and looked at it, and I'm like, I was on camera saying it smelled different.
It sounded different, smelled different.
It smelled different. Like I said, I went back, I'm like, gosh, that was not my brightest moment on live television. But it is. It's just so much fun because they all bring something different to the table.
Yeah. And when you get those media passes and you kind of sign your life away, it's for a reason. I can attest to that. Bill Elliott, he was mad or something, came around in the garage area the one time, and I looked like I could hear him coming. His tire actually ran over my foot.
Oh my gosh.
But I was okay. But he was mad about something. I don't know how fast he was going in the garage. I'm sure he got fined for it. But you have to look both ways before you start walking, especially when they're out there testing or out there qualifying or whatever. But he came barreling around in the garage. I'll never forget that. I was like, wow, made it out of there.
Wow. And I think especially, I don't know if you had a real love for NASCAR before, but I think it's a sport that you grow to love because we have one here in our backyard.
Totally makes sense.
I said, I think my favorite moment, and everyone picks their drivers, and I was a Jeff Gordon fan for the longest time. That goes back to Penn Can Speedway up in Susquehanna County dirt track racing when I got to meet Jeff Gordon. But we had a race that there was lightning in the area. It was storming. They shut down everything. They closed us. But I was like, I still need interviews. Martin Truex came up to me, tapped me on the shoulder. He's like, do you need an interview? And I was like, yes, thank you, because this is chaos. Because it's like you said, there's a lot of space, but it's just so cool to be able to get that access to those drivers and to kind of pick their brains about racing here at Pocono.
Definitely. I'm very excited for my first Pocono experience in a couple of months. But it's in June now, so we moved it up a month. Different timing for sure, but I'm super excited. Cannot wait to get up there.
It'll still likely be hot.
Exactly.
Yeah, hopefully the warmer temperatures get here soon. Yeah. We have a chance to talk about Shelley Duncan. He's going to be back here as our manager for the second season. And then obviously the Yankees picking up Max Fried from the Braves. He's going to be in their rotation. No Juan Soto. So obviously the Yankees have a chance to get back to the World Series. They lost to the Dodgers, who loaded up once again. But what do you think about the Yankees' chances?
Well, the good news is we talk about the Rail Riders having that connection to the Yankees. They've got a lot of great talent. I know we did lose a couple of our big guys down here. Caleb Durbin, Taylor Trammell. Got traded away,
right.
But it's a chance to see the next set of guys. Jason Dominguez, who was down here this past year, isn't going to be now playing up with the big clubs, so or at least getting some time maybe in left. So, you never know. I think they were very upset with how it ended with the World Series. I don't think they played their best games.
No, that was a rough last inning.
Yeah, yeah,
very much so.
So they've got the talent. They just got to put it together. Losing Juan Soto to the Mets.
Yeah.
And Juan Soto's already talking trash. So, I haven't looked at the schedule to see if there's a Subway Series. I imagine if there is, it's going to be interesting, and the fans will make it known that they're not very happy about it.
And again, we will have our Meet the Rail Riders. It's going to be on WNEP Plus, WNEP 2. It's going to be Wednesday, March 26th from 7 to 8 at night. And that's going to be the 3 of us down there, and we're going to get a chance. Actually, we're going to get a chance to meet the Rail Riders. So we have to do our homework because this roster comes out so late. But it's a lot of fun. It's a chance for the fans to meet everybody. And for some of these guys, they're here for a week and then they're in New York.
Exactly.
Or, they're playing AAA and then you see them on national television.
Right.
And they're helping out Aaron Boone and his staff. And it's good to be connected here at Scranton Wilkes-Barre, obviously, with the Yankees.
Yeah,
absolutely.
It definitely is. But you're talking about Dominguez. We saw him here a bunch, last season, and then him going up the last month of the season for the Yankees. I know he was able to, I don't think he got on the playoff roster, but he did some good things up there. I know I've been hearing some talks of them. Some analysts kind of say that Dominguez maybe be leadoff this season for the Yankees. But we're talking about, of course, the addition to Max Fried.
Yeah, what are they going to get with Fried?
Ace pitcher. Max Fried is an ace pitcher. He does have some, health issues every now and then. He was healthy all last season for the Atlanta Braves. He's a 2-time Gold Glover. He's, a lefty. That's obviously very good for the Yankees. But you've got Cole coming back, Garrett Cole coming back to the top of their lineup. He was, injured most of last season, but he'll have, the whole other offseason to rest his arm. Then you got lefty Max Fried. Then you've got Rodon, lefty as well. Then you've got Luis Gil. He was the AL Rookie of the Year last year. So the Yankees have a pretty good rotation going on for them right now. Obviously, position players, losing Soto is tough.
Yep.
They bring back Chisholm.
He was a great pickup, I think.
He was a great pickup. Yeah, he was a great pickup. He did really well for them last season. I think just filling that, that kind of heart of the lineup is kind of where the Yankees need to, figure out, how it's going to be best for them. But you like their chances in the American League this season. You like their chances in their division more than you like the Orioles. I mean, the Orioles losing Corbin Burns to the Diamondbacks, their ace pitcher. So you kind of like their chances. Yeah, so you like their chances in their division for sure.
Let's talk about the Phillies. Their rotation is intact. Their veterans are there. They just need to stay healthy, and they have a chance to obviously do some damage in the National League East.
Yeah, I'm curious to see how things are going to play out for them. I think a lot of Phillies fans were really disappointed with their performance. They have the players, that you've got Bryce Harper, you've got Kyle Schwarber, you've got Bolton, you've got all these guys.
Roster.
Yeah, you've got all these guys that can do it. It's just, I think something came undone. I'm not really even sure what it is, but I saw rumblings of JT Realmuto maybe doing some things outside of catching. I think if they can get that same mentality, I want to do what's best for the team to win and move forward, I think that they'll have a better season this year than they did 2 years ago heading to the World Series.
Yeah, the front line of that rotation, obviously Wheeler and Nola, those guys are going to probably have to win, between 15, 20 games, to keep pace with the Mets. The Mets now have Juan Soto.
Yep.
Wow. I mean, the AL East is going to be crazy. You got the AL East with the Phillies on the top. You got the Mets now with Soto. They got Francisco Lindor. The Mets coming up. Of course, I'm biased with the Braves in that division as well. Always, they've won it for the last 6 years besides the Phillies. That's going to be a tough competition for sure.
Yep, absolutely.
All right, little NASCAR, little baseball talk. We have one more break here, and we'll come back with the end of the WNEP Sports Spotlight. Please stay with us. And welcome back to the WNEP Sports Spotlight. Steve Lloyd, Courtney Harrison, and Eve Hernandez. We had some breaking news. Obviously, here in the month of February, there will be no arena football down at the Mohegan Arena at Casey Plaza. The Wilkes-Barre Scranton Mavericks have withdrawn from AF1. We got that news here in the middle of February. I think it was more of a money issue to get things started. The Pioneers were here about a dozen years ago, had a nice 6-7 year run. It would have been nice to have some arena football down at the arena. So a tough blow for the community, but they just got to reorganize, and maybe we'll see them in 2026.
Yeah, I mean, arena football did so well when it was here. I mean, those were some of the most exciting games. The stands were always packed at Mohegan Arena. It's a disappointment. We were holding out hope that okay, they were doing another round of tryouts. Yeah. Season was about to start.
Right.
Mid-March. It's just a bummer.
Yeah, it's unfortunate, especially for Coach Lyotta. I mean, I'm sure he was really excited too. I know he's a local guy, but also the team. I know I went to one of their tryouts earlier this season. It was really cool just to kind of see, just a tryout. I mean, a lot of local guys were there. Some guys from Misericordia, from King's College, just a lot of local college athletes that were there trying to, do something for themselves. And in this area too, they wanted it to be really community based. And I was really excited for the season to start, but it is kind of just unfortunate that ended up happening.
Yeah, the former quarterback Ryan Venna, who was the Pioneers quarterback, and then head coach Rich Ingold, who has since passed away. Those were two integral guys that kind of kept that team afloat. So we're going to kind of miss that. It's high octane football, and then for some of these guys, it's lower level Division I guys, but they can play, and if they do something here. Sometimes they get invited to NFL mini camps. That's kind of how this all works, the way the schedule is laid out. So from that perspective, we're going to miss that. But it's just kind of a money issue for now, and they just need to reorganize. But the one team we do have at the arena is the Wilkes-Barre-Scranton Penguins hockey team. They're in second place behind the Bears. The Bears have won the last 2 Calder Cups. We've kind of had their number, I think, once. They've gotten us a couple other times. So there'll be more chances to fight it out with Lehigh Valley and with the Hershey Bears. But Coach McDonald has this team flying. You got Emil Benstrom. He's got over 20 goals. And certainly we're here to support Pittsburgh, the Pittsburgh Penguins. But we'd like to get back into the Calder Cup playoffs.
Absolutely. And like you said, Benstrom's been doing great. He's just coming off the AHL All-Star game as well as Owen Pickering. But some of these young guys are super fun to watch. And they've already got that veteran mentality that when you watch them on the ice and the way they lead, the way they pass. You've got Avery Hayes, you've got Rucker McGroarty, you've got Tristan Brose. I hope at least, they can make a run. We've watched them play against Hershey. We've watched them play against Lehigh Valley. Those are always big rivalry games, but they've been doing some great stuff. I think they just have a few things to tweak, but that locker room, I think they've already gelled. They've already figured it out. And that's tough coming in with a new head coach and a lot of new staff and a lot of new players. But they figured it out, and I think that they're proving that they've got the talent to do it.
Definitely. Just help with the league in general, with all the call-ups and the call-downs. It's just hard to have a team, to gel into chemistry like that. But like you mentioned, some of the young players, Brose and Rucker McGroarty, they've been, coming on. It's been awesome to see just them fly around for sure. But the Penguins, I think, I also what I like about this team is you've seen some really tough games from them. They're down 3 goals. 2 weeks ago, they were down 3 goals in the second period. It was 4-1. They come back and they win 5-4 in overtime. That's the Penguins mentality. And I really liked hearing Coach McDonald after that game saying, we're never out of it. None of our guys ever have a doubt that we're out of it. And just he and the mentality that they have has been really cool. And I really think, they have a chance. With Hershey, it's going to be tough. But, with rivalry games, you never know how those are going to play out. But
yeah.
Yeah, normally the way it's stacked up, if Pittsburgh doesn't make the playoffs and they're eliminated, that normally keeps our guys here because sometimes they'll steal our players if Pittsburgh heads into the postseason. But the way it looks right now, Pittsburgh's probably on the outs for the National Hockey League playoffs. Well, as we wrap up, we'll start with you first, Courtney. I guess some favorite teams, and then just talk about kind of where you grew up, high school, and then where you went to college.
All right, well, I grew up in Susquehanna County. I went to Mountain View High School.
Yay, Eagles.
Yay, Eagles. Jimmy Coles used to tease me all the time that the Eagles were undefeated during football season. Well, Mountain View doesn't have a football team. So that was the running joke that they're undefeated again this year. But funny. Went to Kutztown University. Best 4 years of my life, which is really how I wound up here. I interned here in my senior year of college, and I've been here ever since, with the exception of a little blip in time. But I think it's safe to say that people should know by now that I'm a huge Eagles fan.
Really, Courtney?
No, wouldn't say. No, I'm still reeling. I'm still tired. My feet still hurt from the parade. But Yankees, grew up a big Yankees fan, so it's great to have our the AAA team here to be able to see some of those guys. So. Yeah, that's where I stand.
Eve?
Yeah, I'll start. I'm from Holland, Michigan, a really small town in Michigan. I went to college at the University of Georgia down south. That was a lot of fun. You said Kutztown was the best 4 years of your life. Georgia was the best 4 years of my life. I spent 6 years down south, 5 years in the state of Georgia. I lived in Atlanta for a little while. Definitely, I'm a big Atlanta sports fan, even though I'm from the state of Michigan. Big into football, big into baseball for sure. So being a Braves fan, coming here to, Philadelphia area was not, it's fun. It's fun. I like to have fun with the people here for sure who are opposing fans of me. But no, it's been awesome to be here so far. And yeah, it's been great. It's been a lot of fun so far. It's only been a few months now, but just living in Northeast Pennsylvania, definitely a very different place than I have ever lived for sure. But we're getting used to the cold again. I really love the sports around here. The sports have been a lot of fun to cover in our area, and then just the professional teams and the minor league teams that we have around here as well has been really nice to get to know. Mm-hmm.
Well, let me be the first to say you're going to enjoy the spring and the summer.
I can't wait.
And,
I can't wait.
The change of seasons around here is pretty cool. I know you enjoyed the fall with the change of colors, but
yeah, I did.
You're going to enjoy the spring. For me, I grew up out in Lycoming County, Loyalsock Township high school grad. I played for Coach Insinger, pretty much went to all his camps from probably the age that I could pick up a basketball. And then I also am a Kutztown grad.
Golden Bears represent.
Wow.
Yes. Grew up in Central PA. the choices we had was either New York Giants on a Sunday, Eagles, or the Steelers. So kind of grew up Steelers, obviously, with Terry Bradshaw and the Steel Curtain. But ever since Andy Reid was at camp down at Lehigh, kind of turned into an Eagles fan. I am a Phillies fan in baseball. I love the Sixers, and I do enjoy watching Penguins hockey. More so because our affiliate is here, but that's kind of where my loyalties lie. Well, I appreciate Courtney being here. Eve, I appreciate you being here. I'm glad that I could make this for our startup WNEP Sports Spotlight. We're going to try to have one of these every month, different guests we could have in here, a wide variety of sports. And once again, we thank everybody out there for joining us. So get out there, make it a great day. And that's the WNEP Sports Spotlight. Thank you.